So hello everyone, this is AetherNightmare and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. As usual, gotta do setup on my end. My dorky setup. Sorry I haven't been doing as much Final Fantasy XIV. I've been really sick and now everybody in my house is starting to get sick, but with a different sickness, which I fear I'm starting to gather the symptoms of as well. Out of the frying pan into the fire, I guess. So we're just gonna do our best. Let's not get duplicate audio here. And put that up where I can read chat. Cool. Alright. There is a Halloween event going on in Gridania, so even though it breaks canon, I might do that first, just because I want to get the stuff and I don't want to miss out. So let's go to the Shroud. I am also trying something just a little bit different with my setup. See if we can squeak some slightly higher quality on Twitch's end. And hopefully not blow up my PC in the process. It should be at the amphitheater. Oh my. Yeah, it's probably here. There's so many people, but yes, look, there's jack-o'-lanterns and spooky pumpkins and bats hanging from the ceiling. Oh my gosh, there's so many people. Guessing it's here? Good lord. The Aether-starved Ahriman. An adventurer by the looks of you. As it so happens, I have a proposition suited to someone of your talents. Are you prepared to throw caution to the wind and consort with fiends most foul, as if I don't do that regularly? Of course you are, but before we get to the heart of the matter, let us reflect upon the history of All Saints' Wake. On this night do fell fiends emerge to cavort and careen, unconcerned with the judgments of those on high, for the halls of the saints' heavenly abode ring with merriments as the wine flows freely, and no one can be bothered to look down. Thus does God-fearing folks greet this particular sunset with trepidation, daring not to venture from their homes. No longer, nay, for adventurers come in droves out of the void sent, restoring safety to the city's streets and marking the occasion as one of jubilation. That's all well and good, but what of poor forsaken fiends? Are they too not deserving of revelry? My wish is to see All Saints' Wake reborn as a celebration for all, be they ghost, ghoul, Gridanian, or otherwise. I mean, considering some of the dungeons I've been in, sometimes there isn't much of a difference. And how do I propose to accomplish this feat? Binding obligations, friend. I've convinced more sinister sorts to engage into contracts which forbid them from preying on mortals. In exchange, they are permitted to partake in the festivities, but there's one troubled soul who still seems incapable of getting into the spirit of things. Perhaps you'd be willing to give them a helping hand? Nothing too devilishly difficult, I promise. Before you get started, you'll want to get a grasp of the particulars by speaking with Papa Gruff. He ought to be performing one of his shows by the entrance to the Great Lone Growlery. Now go. I should be watching your performance with great interest. There we go. Seasonal quest begins. So we should be able to get a costume. I think I missed All Saints' Wake last year. I seem to have terrible luck this time of year. Oh, he's a clown. Although it pains me so, our humble performers must draw to a close. Let us then end things on a high note. Ladies and gentlemen, I bid you feast your eyes on the fantastic Philcox and his transformation magics. But what was all that about? The clowning and whatnot was a right laugh. But that last bit was bleeding rubbish. Come on, let's get out of here. Show's not going over well with the youth, huh? Whoa! Once more, you fail to muster up even 1 ounce of magical prowess. I had the crowd in the palm of my hand. We would have been the toast of the town if not for your blunder. There you go again, shrieking the same old tune. I'd have it up to my eyeball with this farce just because you know a few cheap tricks doesn't give you the right to treat me like that. I can't stand the sight of you, let alone the thought of taking to the stage with you again. Good riddance. I can't tell if these are humans that turn into fiends or fiends that turn into humans. You don't belong to the usual demographic. If you're not here to see one of my shows, then why are you here? A foul fiend failing to get into the spirit of All Saints' Wake. I'd wager you speak of Philcox, the fellow who stormed off in a huff. Like most of our ilk, Philcox and I have an insatiable appetite for aether, but unlike your garden variety void scent who hunt hapless mortals like beasts, we prefer to sate our hunger with their enthusiastic approval. Oh, so you're actually fiends. Interesting. Also, the grinding has begun. I'm trying to find a way to get it to stop again. Thank you for the follow, Prismati Queen. We are experiencing scuff this Halloween season. I tell you, there's no aether as delectable as you'll find in food gifted in genuine appreciation, which set me into thinking, perhaps preying on mortals was an old-fashioned and misguided approach. Thus did I commit on giving folk the sort of frights and dazzle and delight winning hearts and minds, and in the process no small number of aether-laden delicacies. And what better occasion for such terrifying amusements as All Saints' Wake? The method is catching 2. Many Voidsen now seek aether in this manner. Philcox is one such reformed individual. So, that's what they've been after this whole time is aether? The fiends, I mean? I'm still very new to this game, so much of the lore eludes me. I'm learning as we go. When I first laid eyes upon him, I sensed promise. But get him in front of a crowd and you're likely to get a smattering of half-hearted applause, let alone a few measly crumbs. You're better off hearing it from Ahriman's mouth, though. He can't have gotten far. The fiends are fighting! Yeah, because we're still learning on my end what Void Scent really even are. That sniveling whelp of an imp. Magic this, magic's that. The sheer unbridled cheek of it. Philcox is practically frothing at the mouth, so incensed by his treatment at the hands of Papa Gruff, you must soothe him before attempting to start this conversation. Very well. I shall attempt to soothe. Calm down. Apologies, I had taken leave of my senses. Your timely intervention is much appreciated. Wait, by the look of you, I'd say you're an adventurer. Let me guess, that pumpkin-headed lady sent you to check up on me, did she? She a fiend too? I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you my tale. Try as I might, I just can't get the hang of transformation magics, and without the means to delight the crowds, we're starved for appreciation. I'm an Ahriman. Paralyzing prey with this big eye of mine? Not a problem. Turning them to stone with a petrifying glare? A trifling task. Hells, I can even smell despair and all manner of negative emotions in the people around me. Obviously, paralysis and petrification won't win over an audience, and my metaphorical nose for despair isn't going to put aether on the table either. Ether? Oops. I ought to just tell that pumpkin-headed lady I'm not cut out for this business. If you're here at her behest, you better come too. Alright, where do you go? This way? I think? Back at the amphitheater, I suppose. I assume. Yeah, I don't remember, because I think I missed it, what last All Saints Wake was. It looked like some sort of doctor's outfit. Oh my, it's so crowded. Well, I guess I could talk to him. That about sums it up. I give it my all and have naught to show for it, which is to say I've come to the conclusion that I will never be an entertainer. Or you could try something different. There's different magics than simply transformation. I gather you had a hand in Philcox's decision to lay bare his thoughts and feelings. Not that it did any good. I'm still stuck at square one. Underappreciated and underfed. Ah, such a curious child. Are you truly so blind to your own potential? No doubt you have an inkling as to what I speak of. Pray share your wisdom with Philcox. You can smell dark emotions. Use your gift to help those in need. Stamp out any negativity you sense within the common folk. But how? Oh my gosh, I love the little kitty that's, like, up here. It reminds me of the Trigon cat, just a little bit. Well, you'd be hard-pressed to find a Voidsent who suggests that. I don't see how helping others helps me, but then again, I know little of mortal ways, so perhaps I should heed your advice. Ah, wait. I see the logic in it now. What better way to make use of my talents and knock that pompous Papa Gruff right off his pedestal? No, I'm getting ahead of myself. I've no idea where to start. Perhaps I can lend a hand with a little sleight of hand. Hold still. You don't have to use actual magic. We can do party tricks if you're bad at this kind. Not only is that get-up guaranteed to turn heads, each and every thread is imbued with a potent magic to aid in your newfound purpose. Oh, you know, I think I can feel it. Maybe this isn't going to be so tough after all. I mean, you kind of look like a 2000s boy band. There you are. You know, I thought to apologize for my harsh words earlier, since our act was my initiative and therefore our success, or lack thereof, was ultimately my responsibility, but I sense that you've been scheming. It pleases me to inform you, Papa Gruff, that I found a way to win over mortals on my own terms. Wouldn't scheming be a good thing in this context? I find that hard to believe, but since you're so confident, why don't we have ourselves a contest? Whoever garners the most affection, and thereby the largest share of aether-rich victuals, wins, and the victor goes the spoils. Of subservience, the loser will be bound to obey to their every whim. How does that sound? Kinky. You're on. I hope you're ready to bow and scrape. What have we done? I can't gauge your expression behind the pumpkin. The mortal epitaph of about one's bark being worse than one's bite comes to mind. Prepare yourself, Philcox. But how exactly are we going to go about this? I know I've got this marvelous magic outfit, but I'm still not entirely convinced I have what it takes to beat Papa Gruff on my own. Come with me, just until I get the hang of things. That's all I ask. Very well. I shall leave Philcox in your capable hands. Part 2? Alright, all fiends sated on All Saints' Wake. Let me get the outfits, this is probably the last part. How about we try to find a troubled soul in need of aid? But let's get out of here first. But to go where, sir? Not that far. I wonder if a lot of people currently at this event are technically in their Halloween costumes. But like different ones. Right, time to look for folk harboring negative feelings. Give me a moment. I don't know if it has anything to do with that pumpkin-headed lady's enchantment, but my powers feel more potent than ever. I've already found someone. Whoever they are, they're awfully flustered. There's two to the northeast, I think, though I'm not sure where exactly. The roads can be confusing. Truth be told, this is my first time in the city. I've got a decent sense of direction, but I've yet to grasp the lay of the land. Can I trouble you to lead the way? Our flustered target is northeast of here. I'll be right behind you. Philcox is now accompanying you, keeping at your side to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Philcox behind by entering a different area or by speaking with him by selecting the option to part ways. If you wish to have Philcox join you again, return to speak with him. Once you are accompanied, you may encounter conversation points along the way which offer additional topics of discussion. Entering the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. Huh? Okay. I'm assuming they're up this way. Let me see. Oops, sorry. It's probably just a Guild FC. Yeah, it's just an FC request. Discuss the delighted woman. Such glee. They mentioned a clown. I'd wager they've just had the privilege of seeing one of Popograph's performances. Listen, I'll be the first to admit he's an expert illusionist, and you've only got to look at the folk like these ladies to see he knows how to work a crowd. But it won't be upstaged. I'll prove there is more than one way to win over an audience by following your timely advice, that is. Given the delight written on their faces, our opponent must have earned himself some sustenance, which means we've no time to lose. Onward. Wait, is there anything else I can do here? Or... I guess we could do small talk. Say, did I tell you that Phil Cox is just an alias? The pumpkin-headed lady suggests I use it to better engage with mortals. My name is actually, what does it matter? It's not like we'll see each other again when this is all over and done with. What, too hard to say in the mortal tongue? Like that one joke they always use for sea creatures. And my name is, and they make like a whole bunch of dolphin noises. But that's a bit hard to pronounce. Oh gods, where's she gotten to? This must be the fellow my senses were leading me to. Shall we find out what ails him? Seems like someone's missing. You there, what's gotten you so worked up? Oh, forgive me, there was this poor little girl who'd been separated from her mother. I was helping her look, but she suddenly disappeared. I can't simply abandon her, but again, I have an urgent personal matter to attend to, and I don't know what to do. Well, in that case, why don't I and my associate look for the girl? Then you can see to your affairs without worry. Thank you, thank you. She's a young lass dressed in blue. I hope you're able to find her forthwith. He certainly was appreciative, yet here I am, empty-handed. Forget the food. We have a lost child to find. Well, maybe cheering up the child will get you what you need. I'm detecting a despairing presence to the east of here. Odds are it's the girl, which means I have need of your navigational nows once again. After you! Alright, straightforward. I actually do like that they decorate the towns and stuff. They did that in Final Fantasy XI as well. Though mostly it was for Christmas. I thought this would be a fine opportunity to accrue some appreciation, but this poor girl is beside herself. She keeps calling out for her mama. Might I enlist your help? Do I look like? This must be the lost lass we've been looking for. If you want to earn her thanks, we'll need to reunite her with her mother, wouldn't you say? Yep. Which means we now have a lady to locate. Any suggestions? Use your senses to search for someone feeling anxious? I mean, that would work, because the mom's probably missing the child, too. Ah, you're saying that the mother will be worried about her daughter having gone missing. Brilliant. That's exactly why I had you accompany me. Right then. Oh, thank you for the follow, Light Sense. We're just doing some Final Fantasy XIV event at the moment, and then we'll get back into Heavensward. Founder, I don't know which is the bigger boon, having you by my side or this fancy finery. I think I've learned my way around the city more or less. I'll handle this next part on my own. Wait here. I'll be back with the girl's mother in no time. And then we wait. And wait. How far has he gone? How far away do your senses work, man? "12 be praised, you're safe." You have my eternal gratitude. Thanks for finding Mama, mister. Do you believe me now, Papa Gruff? Sweet, sweet appreciation and all courtesy of my special talent. I can't help but notice they didn't offer you anything edible by way of thanks. For my part, I've already been rewarded with a tasty morsel. Ah, so the people here know they're fiends? I thought maybe they were incognito. That said, the gift of food is far from guaranteed. Indeed, perseverance is key, which is why I find myself performing show after show. I suggest you approach this contest with the same tenacity, Phil Cox. I'm afraid he's right. Constant effort is key. Luckily, I sensed another troubled soul while helping track down the girl's mother. I'd rather see what I can do to help. You know, I think I'm ready to go it alone now. Why don't you let our pumpkin-headed benefactor know? I'll come and find you when I'm done. Well, I'm afraid my next performance calls. Until we meet again, adventurer. Okay. Where to? Probably back at the Grand Theater. Is there an Aetherite nearby? No, they're probably... Yes! Like, am I in the dead zone up here? Where there's just a big stretch of no Aetherites? But no, I'm close enough to the amphitheater. The adventurer returns, and at the precise moment I predicted. Do I hope keeping Phil Cox's company wasn't too taxing? What of our fiend and his endeavors? You have my thanks. Truly, speak of the devils, here they come. Dear oh dear, that turned out to be a damn sight harder than anticipated. All I have to show for my travels is a single cookie. To think the first gift I'd receive would prove to be the last. Curses, I didn't receive so much as a crumb. I suppose this means you win. Very well, I'm yours to command, Papa Gruff. You know, I have some food on me if you're that hungry. You admit defeat far too readily, Phil Cox. It's like they crossed trick-or-treating with, leaving out cookies for Santa. We found you! I wanted to thank you for properly helping me and Mama. We brought you a pumpkin cookie. Wait, will this outfit finally give me something that gives me the claws? That's not the Ixali piece? Simply scrumptious. Lightworld food is the best! It's first time tasting sugar, maybe. I'm glad you like it. Farewell! That makes it one apiece. A draw then. Still, Phil Cox. While you had some assistance along the way, you've nevertheless done yourself proud. To think I'd live to see the day Papa Gruff sings my praises. Awfully kind of you to finally admit I might have worth. Is that all you desire? My begrudging acceptance? Have you forgotten your reasons for joining in the festivities in the first place? Of course I haven't. The good people of Gridania are still in need of my help. And where there are common folk in need, there are cookies to be freed, and given to me. Adventure, I'd better get going, but before I do, let me say this. I might have found a way to make the most of my talents, but I wouldn't have been able to do so without you and the pumpkin-headed lady. I'm sure we'll run into each other again one of these days. Till then. The promise I sensed in Phil Cox when he and I first met was illusionary after all. I should take my leave too. Would be remiss of me to allow him to garner all the glory, to say nothing of the cookies. I'd say those two fiends ended up having themselves a frightfully fun-filled All Saints' Wake, wouldn't you agree? And for your part in all this, a fitting reward. I present to you a set of finery, as worn by Gridania's most emotionally perceptive Ahriman. Same outfit as him, I get Oni horns. Perhaps you wonder if your outfit endowed is with the same enhancement? You needn't worry. There never was an enchantment. Good old Shirad was my way of giving Philcox the confidence he so sorely lacked, although I dare say such a measure was unnecessary, given he had you to cheer him on. Now, before I forget, you are hereby cordially invited to my humble abode of a get-together of sorts. Do drop by. I assure you it will be frightfully entertaining. Anyways, your help is much appreciated. At this rate, my vision of an All Saints' Wake for mortals and voids and the like must not be such a distant prospect, though I do hope that these shenanigans have dulled your enthusiasm for this most occult of occasions. Alright, quest complete, and we got the attire. You now have access to Sneaky Hollow. Speak with the unusual usher at Miketo's amphitheater to be escorted to the costume party? Costume party? Don't even know where that would be. There's Papa Gruff. As you can see, I have no trouble earning myself a cookie or two. Now, if you don't mind, I'm in the middle of a show. Do me a favor and go bother Philcox instead. That's no wonder you only earned one cookie. Okay, Bouncer? What Bouncer? All Saints' Wake Crier. Artor, as usual. Maybe it's over here? Nope, that's the delivery Moogle. Oh, it's you. I'm definitely starting to get the hang of this whole helping mortals lark. Hell, I think I'm enjoying myself. And maybe it's not here. Maybe it's with something else. I mean, I don't exactly have a costume to participate in a costume contest with. So for now, I shall probably head back to my main event, where the Chocobos roam, back in Dravania, but I guess I need to go to Kurthus first. Oh, do I really need to come all the way? I probably do. Oh well. One step at a time, I suppose. Some big icicles. Dang. Alright, to Dravania. With great Chocobo swiftness. As much as we can muster. Technically there's Dravania this way too? Wait, is it all Dravania? Which way do you need me? I'm assuming out at the top. Oh, that is so confusing. I guess if I come in the wrong way it won't hurt, will it? If anything, it'll just help me map out more of the map. Through this little tunnel, maybe? Or, oh, is it blocked? No? Yes? Looks blocked off. It is! There must be a story event that forces you to come through this way, then. Okay. Then... this is going to be a little bit of a trip. I might want to open something really quickly on my end. Sorry. Please hold. I want to get a program opened in the background. I'm kind of monitoring some stuff back here due to some PC issues. I want to be able to see how it's going. Stick that there. Only there was a way to, like, shrink this. Can I? No. We're just gonna have to swap back and forth. Oh well. To freedom! Yeah, temps are looking good. My computer's just insisting on making grindy noises despite the fact that temps are good. Oh, scuff. It's not a stream by me if there ain't some degree of scuff, I suppose. Almost there. Here we go.
Beyond Abalathia's spine, the great mountain range that spans the continent of Aldenard from east to west. Into the deepening shadows of Som Al, where lies the ancient home of dragonkind. To a land where the soil slithers and the skies seethe with sinuous shapes, they came.
It sounds like a ton of chocobos, actually. Which I guess is the name of the quest. Oh, there's chocobos everywhere. Yeah, and it's more, tropic down here, too. We came from somewhere that was absolutely burning with snow, and these are a type of tree that grows more in, like, the New Orleans swamps. This forest was mentioned in the page of New Eorzean Geographic. As I recall, the author advised travelers to give the local chocobos a wide berth. According to her, they can be remarkably aggressive. Do they know Choco Meteor? Do you sense them? The gathering of dragons to the west? And hey there, Snippy Pants. We now stand on the threshold of Dravania. The path to Som Al will take us far to the west, beyond the embrace of the forest branches. It will be a long and demanding journey. Might I suggest that we take our rest at the village up ahead, and see that we are properly provisioned? There is a village here? But I thought these lands the sole domain of dragonkind. Why would anyone choose to live in such a perilous a place? The wild chocobos. Tailfeather was built by hunters who make their living capturing and selling the beasts. Their leader, Markachamp, is an acquaintance of mine. Being a gregarious sort, he will no doubt welcome our arrival. He will also possess more recent knowledge of the road we seek to travel. I trust there are no objections? Only to this ceaseless chatter. If we are to meet this acquaintance of yours, let us do so before Ishgard burns. Okay, let me guess. I probably can't fly. Nope, I gotta grab the Aether Currents again. It's also, oh yeah, they are fightable chocobos. Don't know how I feel about that, but okay, there is gonna be a town up here. Right in this section. Which is our next Aetherite objective. I'm sorry, poor captured chocobos. Oh, that makes me sad. No wonder the dragons have beef with us. We're constantly causing problems for them first. Okay, let's sync with you, just because it might be faster. And attune this so we can warp. Inside the building, maybe? Yes. Well, tan my hide and call me Leatherface. We have visitors. Oh, and if it isn't the lovely Ysayle, it's been too long, girl. That it has, Marchamp. That it has. My companions and I on our pilgrimage to Samal. Might we stay in Tailfeather a while and prepare for the next leg of our journey? Of course, of course. Stay as long as you like. In fact, I wouldn't suggest leaving the forest at all. The dragons have been absolutely bleeding murderous as of late. Forgive me, sir, but I'm not sure I understand. Do the dragons not bother you here in the forest? Bother us? Did Ysayle not explain things to you, boy? You've seen them towering, Calum trees? All about, haven't you? If you were flying above the canopy, you'd barely be able to see the ground. And as you expect, the local wildlife's canny enough to stay hidden beneath the leaves, which is why the dragons do their hunting elsewhere, and we can do ours in peace. I see. Thank you for the explanation. Alright, so maybe the canopy is too thick to get through. You're welcome. Now I know it won't stop you sail here, but dragons aren't the only ones who need to keep an eye out for, especially if you're set on heading west. Anything better? Nope, not yet. Just go with money. Oops, damn it! I select the wrong thing. I'll just fast forward through it. Too bad you can't, like... Oh, can I skip it? I don't want auto advance, no. How do I could have sworn that... Yes, skip. There we go. Am I doing any better from the illness? Yes and no. I'm still recovering somewhat from the illness, though I'm better that I don't need to stay bedridden all day. But now my mom has something different than what I had, and I'm kind of taking care of her, and I'm a little afraid that I might have started to catch what she has, because I can feel it in my throat. I'm glad to see Marchamp is doing well. These hunters scrabble in the shadows of dragons for naught but the love of coin. Greed inspires courage and madness in equal measure, it seems. I've already read widely of the world and its wonders, yet after taking but a few steps into the unknown, I'm now reminded of how much I still have to discover. We're still in Eorzea! You can't have done that much reading. Some bad news? Oh, Aether Current. I see you've been making the rounds, getting to know the hunters in these parts. Well, how would you like to help a real hunter? I'm overseeing 3 camps up to the east, but the lazy sods ain't sent me a report in a fortnight, and I'm too bleeding busy to be playing messenger. If you look right fierce enough to get the information out of them, it's a simple job that'll earn you some coin. Can't rightfully say no to that. If it tickles your fancy, then you'll need to talk to the leaders of each camp. Nunolf? I'm gonna fail these names. Gwynart? Aimbert? Hear what they have to say and get back to me when you're done. I dare say you're wondering what could possibly be worse than dragons, huh? Well, I'll tell you. The bloody Nath. They're what you might get if you crossed an antling with a megalocrab and taught the thing how to walk on 2 legs. Can't really picture it. They never used to stray far from the hives out of fear of the dragons, but now they've gotten a lot more aggressive as of late, sending out war parties from Malms in all directions. They've been taken to hassling the Dravanians on their own lands, if you can believe it. When they venture into the forest, which is more and more, by the way, they certainly ain't afraid to come after my lot. I can only imagine how much worse it'll be for the Nath's home territory. We got big bugs. What's worse than dragons? Big bugs. 'Twould seem that much has changed in Dravania. The Nath are not wont to cause such strife when I lived here. You lived here? In Dravania? Aye. 'Twas in the time following the calamity. My family was dead, my home was gone. I had fled from the bitter cold into these lands. I knew not the paths of the forest then, and wandered out from under the protection of its boughs. That was when I chanced upon Hrisvelgar. He had descended from his mountain lair to hunt for food. My exhausted mind could not contend with the sight of his majestic worm, nor the vision of the past his presence visited upon me. Thankfully, Marchamp found my unconscious form at the end of the trees, and nursed me back to health. And in Tailfeather, I remained for quite some time. Hence your familiarity with the locals. But I interrupted you. You were saying those Nath were once a peaceful people? Peaceful would not be the most fitting description. They are a fiercely territorial tribe, and any who intrude upon their domain are attacked without hesitation or quarter. Outside the borders of their homeland, however, they were rarely hostile. Indeed, we were even able to trade with them on occasion. They have changed then. What of it? We have not the time to creep through the underbrush in some roundabout route. I say we make straight for Samal and crush any unruly insect we meet underfoot. A more direct path, then. Very well. Let us follow the trail west out of the forest and make for the statue of the Stained One. From there, we shall have a fair view of the road that leads to Samal, shall we? Okay, that's just the basics. We got more quests! Chocobo hunting isn't as easy as it looks. Those birds are too clever by half. I've designated some new traps, though, that I set up around Tailfeather a few days ago. Might be about time to check them. Think you could do that for me? There are 2 of them. One upstream of the Wilhelm River and one to the east of Tailfeather. All you really need to do is head out there and see if they caught anything. I guess out here they treat Chocobo more like deer than horses. Well, paint me yellow and call me a Chocobo. That's Millith's sightseeing log you got there. The one I probably didn't finish back in A Realm Reborn. Forgive me, I got carried away for a moment. I'm Kester Ironheart, cousin to Millith and an explorer of sorts, like my extended family. When I last spoke with Millith, she told me of an adventurer with a keen sense of wanderlust. An adventurer that I know now to be you. Let's say you lend your log for a moment. Don't worry, I won't eat it or anything. There. And yes, there. That should do it, I reckon. There's no secret that Ishgard is home to on some of the more remarkable sites in the realm. Mind you, I've not seen them all myself, but I certainly know where might they be found. And now, so do you. Thanks to the notes and rumors I've seen fit to jot down in your sightseeing log. Yes, scores of stunning vistas are just waiting to be discovered. Your legs will not carry you to all of them, though. Should you find a particular spot out of reach, you might consider taking to the skies atop a black-feathered bird. Oh, but if I were to say more, I would be robbing you of the joy of discovering these spectacular views for yourself. Godspeed, my fellow explorer. And may this moment mark the beginning of a tour of wonder. Sightseeing log expanded. Heavensward entries have been added to your sightseeing log. You must be level 50 or above to record Heavensward vistas. Check. Travel to the location indicated and fulfill the necessary conditions and you will complete the entry for the vista, earning experience points in the process. Use your wits in the notes provided by Kester to identify these stunning sights and the proper way to appreciate them, and see Ishgard as only the greatest explorers have seen her. Okay, so that's just an expansion of an existing quest. Snoopy, do you mean you have a stupid question? I want to be the hunter. Well, if it isn't the famed Wren everyone's been going on about, word travels fast in a camp this small. Say, could you lend me your ear for a bit? Thanks for keeping this lonely hunter company. Any road, since you're new around here, I thought you might want to know about this place and its denizens. You see, the hunters of Tailfeather make their way by catching the wild chocobos wandering around these forests and selling them to the renowned Ishgardian trainers. You might think us hunters have an easy end of the deal, but you change your mind quick enough the first time a dragon breathes down your neck. And to that, all the other hungry beasts looking for an easy meal, and you'd be right to doubt the sanity of this whole camp. That's why most hunters of the Dravanian Forelands are either them that are just trying to escape their pitiful lives back home, or them that are crazy enough to get enjoyment from risking their necks every day. Of course, you can't forget that those that are here for just a quick bucketful of gil, chasing the golden chocobo, so to speak. The promise of riches brings new blood from all over Eorzea. Ain't that right, Kenyatta?
You got that right. I'm here to bag myself the biggest chocobo Eorzea has ever seen.
Thing is, chocobo hunting's generally done in pairs. And Kianta here's, having never trapped an animal herself, is in need of a partner. I know you've got some experience hunting all manner of beasts, so I'm asking you to help her out until I find someone suitable. I can't thank you enough. Kenyatta's got some ideas for her first hunt. Speak to her and she'll tell you all about them. Sounds like a series of quests then, maybe.
Finally, a partner. Now we can be real hunters. Let's not keep those birds waiting. This hunt will be simple. All we gotta do is lure a chocobo out with these gishal greens. There's only one problem. Wild chocobos have a keen sense of smell and won't come near a trap if they catch even a whiff of a hunter's scent. But fret not, for I have a plan. Just the other day, I came across some mushrooms whose reek I can still smell. If we use them to hide our scent, those chocobos will be none the wiser. I'll take care of erasing the gishal greens from the trap, and I'll need my partner, that's you, to go and pick that pungent fungus for me. It seems the hunters call the mushroom Shambler's Wick, and about 5 or so should do the trick. Let's just head east of Tailfeather for a bit, and use your nose to guide you the rest of the way.
Okay, now we got stuff just absolutely everywhere on the map. Which is which? Who knows? I guess we'll find out when we get here. Alright, there's a spot here for something. Chocobo snare. The trap has not been sprung, but neither do you see any bait. Maybe they're getting smart and they know how to take the bait out of the trap. Yeah, I gotta be careful too, because now that I'm more level adjusted, enemies can start fights with me. Okay, where... There's a person here, but I don't see what else it wants from the quest. Things are going well enough. Been running into a bit of trouble with those giant bugs in the woods, though. Oh, it is just speaking with hunters. They marked it slightly differently. Okay, then what's up with this way? This used to be some sort of human monument. Of what kind? I don't know. Shroom? Oh, maybe all the mushrooms are in this area. Yeah, they are. They seem like they'd be slightly up there, too. I have no clue how to go about that. Yeah, I bet they would be. Might have to come at this from an angle. Are you something? Okay, can I get up here from here? Looks like it, yeah. Not so much that, though. I wonder if I'm still too low. I am. I think, yeah. I need to get even higher. I'm not used to the terrain in these places yet. Ooh, red chocobos. These tend to be, in other games, ones that can do the dreaded Choco Meteor. You want to know how to politely say no to someone? Well, most of the time the best way to say is you're either busy or just to say no thanks. Just be polite about it as possible. Sometimes it's not about you being polite, but others needing to know when there's a boundary. You don't have to give them specific details. Sorry, I'm busy, I've already got plans that day, or I'm with family, or whatever. You're allowed to be vague about it, and you're not obligated to tell people what it is you're up to. And if they press, just say, it's some more personal stuff and I don't really want to talk about it. I mean, I do that even on stream all the time. Sometimes you're just busy or you're tired. You don't want people taking that the wrong way. There's times I've skipped out streaming just because it's like, oh boy, I do not have the energy after this day. Especially, like I said, if I've been sick, for example. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Okay, so there's one over here. Sorry, I'm also trying to get the map all explored too. It's something you kind of just have to get used to. Then again, I work with a ton of other people, so I guess I'm used to doing it. Nothing out of the ordinary here. There's just the bird that won't shut up. Haven't been able to catch a wink of all its bloody screeching. Well, I mean, yeah, bird. It's a bird. It's going to do bird things. You'd be screaming if I put you in a cage too, man. Don't diss the bird. Okay, anything over here? I see more stuff ahead. There's a fight. Okay, you're new. Marching Cultivator. Are these the, forget what they're already called already. The Norks? The Bug Norks? I wish I could just break it out of the cage, but the game won't let me. Okay, then how the heck am I supposed to get up there? Hello? Maybe I have to take a porter. Because I genuinely don't see a path. Even this is hard to jump. Damn! There we go. How does thou get up there? Probably with flying, but I can't do that here yet. I gotta collect all the aether currents. Yeah, and then it cuts off on this side. You probably need to be able to fly to get up there. What am I planning for Halloween? Honestly, nothing at the moment. I might watch a movie, but that's about it. A lot of people have been sick lately, myself included. There's not a big trick-or-treat scene here. I've decorated a little bit inside. Just some really basic stuff, but other than that, it might just be, relax and watch a movie. I've been really, really sensitive to foods, too, so I can't even really enjoy the snacks. So I'll probably just vibe at home. Nothing too scary of a movie. My mom hates scary movies since I live with my mom. We'll probably do something medium Halloween-y, like Ghostbusters. I'm personally not scared of scary movies, but my mom can't handle them whatsoever. So it can only be medium scary. For Halloween streaming, I'm probably gonna get to Deltarune Part 2 pretty soon. Since I said I wanted that to be my Halloween playthrough. I normally do more spooky playthrough stuff around Halloween, but like I said, I've just been too sick these past 2 weeks. I was bedridden for over a week, so I'm behind on everything. Here we go, 3 Centurio seals for monster hunting. So we're just gonna take it at a leisurely pace. I might be slightly behind on deadlines, but I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Okay, what is in... This is different. Big cave, big circular seal, a temple maybe? I bet this is where a dungeon might be in the future. Don't know. It's not marked as one. Wait, I probably gotta get closer to it just to mark off the corner in the map. It's doing a Star Ocean for the map. Come on! Unlock. I don't really have too many scary games. Less because I am just not really interested in them, because I'm not scared of them. It's just that certain games don't appeal to me. Which is why a lot of the quote-unquote spooky season games that I tend to do are often more silly than they are scary. For example, I don't necessarily mind Resident Evil for the scary content. I can watch other people play it just fine, but I don't really enjoy playing it myself. I think 8 was one of the first ones that I kind of enjoyed playing. And even that was in part because I played it with other people. Seven seems like it would frustrate me to no end. 7's puzzles and stuff. I wouldn't be scared, I'd be angry at all the doors. Great, how do I get in here? Granny locked me out. Why is the key in the swamp gooch? I think I liked 8 more slightly because it was more straightforward. I think I might like 4. I've yet to try 4. But I particularly liked Resident Evil Village entirely because it toned down the room puzzles just a little bit. I could potentially do Parasite Eve one day. I know people have asked me to. It's just a matter of time and being in the mood. Getting the console, air quotes, to work. Since there's a glitch in the middle of that game that I have to work around. Oh, he's lost all his leaves! He's got that November look going on. So yeah, I don't mind horror games, but I don't really care for the really slow, methodical gameplay that a lot of horror games have. I get bored easily. and you throw me into a room with a really complex puzzle to get out of it, and I'm just gonna break down the door. Should we have a chance to meet Marchamp again, remind me to thank him. He had not warned us to expect the Nath, but I doubt he would be standing here. That's what they're called, Nath. That's right. I'm like, Nat can't be right. So my brain is stuck between Nat and the way the G and the N are. It makes me think Nork from Spyro. Amid ruins that would tentatively describe as Giscardian, the style, if not quite identical, betrays a definite resemblance. You have a scholar's eye, Master Alphino. The structure is, in fact, over 1,000 years old. It's a remnant from the age when our ancestors and dragonkind lived together in peace. You claim this is evidence of our harmonious past? I was taught that these buildings were constructed by heretics in honor of your Dravinian masters. This rubble inspires no such awe in me. You stubborn fool, how desperately you cling to the false teachings of your beloved Holy See. Enough, both of you. You threaten the success of our mission with this incessant squabbling. Bren, pray you to reason with these two. Our goals are the same. Set aside your differences for now. The truth of the past will be revealed. I'll say our goals are the same. Quite. Lest you forget, our goal is to prevent a war which will claim the lives of Dravinians and Giscardians alike. If we're to accomplish this, you must learn to tolerate each other's presence. Trust in Bren's gift. In time, the secrets of history will be brought to light. Let that be enough, Estinian. You would have me keep my counsel until Bren's visions confirm the truth? Very well, but bait me not. Our meeting with I can never say his name. Reskelvar will likely provide the catalyst for Bren's gift requires. As it did mine. Let us press on. When was the last time I got scared from media? Probably not since I was in the single digits for age. Like, I discovered Parasite Eve when I was around 9 years old, so... one of my favorite anime of all time, X, that anime, particularly the movie, which I started with, is extremely gory. Got into that around the same time. That's why, like, oh, what anime do you recommend for kids? And it's like, I didn't start in the kids section, I started in the adult section, so I guess my tolerance for media horror and whatnot is just really, really high. Dragons in the sky and Nath upon the ground. One must needs sprout eyes in the back of one's head to survive this land. And the pure irony is, I have extreme anxiety in real life, but I have almost no anxiety in fiction. I just need to get isekai'd already. Maybe that'll cure it. These Ant-Men are bold to bring the war to the dragon's doorstep. Mayhap we should invite them to the walls of Ishgard. Get the ants to guard Ishgard for you. You only have one life. Stressing about schedules is actually a waste of time. It kind of is. Just take a break if you want for your health, and you can change your schedule if you're still a busy bee. Well, thank you, Snoopy Pants, for allowing me that patience in between. I appreciate it. The Trine Towers. Spy you the great towers to the west? Ishgardians know them as Enix Trine. The place serves a roost for Hriskelvar's this is so hard for me to stay. Hriskelvar's, a lesser kindred. If we reach a peak of Somal, then we must first beseech these dragons to open the way. But do not be disheartened. The one who leads them is a friend. Of rather more concern is the disposition of the Nath. Let us survey the approach of the towers, and see if the path is clear. But there's also the fact, too, that I do enjoy recording and streaming. So this is my way to relax as well. So I also like to stream to relax. It's just that sometimes when you're sick and already stressed, it's hard to even do that, you know? Oh, the balance of adulthood. I play games to relax, but sometimes after work or after being sick, you're too stressed to play games to relax yourself. So you just sleep. Or listen to music. I listen to a lot of music. Alright. Chocobo snare. Here we go. Oh, there's another crystal in this one? It's not as big? The trap has not been strung, but neither do you see any bait. Okay. I can't get to this marker yet. It's up in a section that I need to fly to get to, or I need to take a different chocobo. So I'm probably gonna head over to this. Or see if I can try to anyway. Can't say for sure yet. The map is still clouded. But yeah, I used to sneak a lot more adult anime, air quotes adult, at night when it would air. Since I would just stick headphones into the TV. My parents would be none the wiser. So they used to have all kinds of anime on at that time. Full Metal Alchemist, Samurai Champloo, Gundam, Evangelion, Dot Hack, although that one's not quite as dark or mature. Bleach, Naruto. Can I get up here? No, I can... that's probably back at the village, actually. I'll head this way for now. We can get that on the return trip. Trying to think of some other ones that were super popular. I know Dragon Ball aired at that time, but it was at a time slot that I couldn't catch. And it wasn't late at night either, because it was heavily censored for the longest time. Get the afternoon time slot, since darker anime could only appear after midnight. So you typically stay up super late to watch them. There was a couple other ones. I can't think of what they are at the top of my head, though. Ghost in the Shell. I love Ghost in the Shell. That was one. Okay, how the heck am I meant to get up this cliff? Okay, there we go. It's a path that opens this way. I took the frustrating route. There's a big worm right where I need to be. Would seem the enemy of my enemy is also my enemy. You seem like you have a lot of enemies, Estinian. The Nath are fast becoming a nuisance. They seem to plague our every step. 'Tis as I feared. The road ahead is teeming with Nath soldiers. Marsuchamp did not engage then. The beastmen have grown brazen indeed, if they would threaten the dragon so openly. Do they intend to assault the lair itself? You say I'm relaxing while streaming IRL. Are you slouching on the gaming chair as you play right now? Kind of. It's not a gaming chair, it's just an office chair, because they're better for your back than gaming chairs. They don't look as fancy, but they're so much more comfortable. And I have a footstool that is underneath the desk. I pray they do not. Mighty though the Divinian fiends are, they are yet vulnerable to the Nath's muskets. Muskets? The bugs have guns? There's no route save the one before us. Should the beastmen offer battle, we have no choice but to accept. Okay, so they're beastmen, but that also means they can summon a primal. Sometimes I sit upright, sometimes I relax more. It really depends. If only I could actually lay on the futon, that'd be nice. Yeah, what are these? They're like... Wait. Those feet. I recognize these feet. You're from 12 as well. You're the little desert surfers. There's a section in Final Fantasy XII where they have something called, like the Desert Sea. I forget the actual name. But it's an actual current of sand that functions very similar to an ocean. You can swim in it. So it's like water, but it's all actually fine sand. And these guys live along it. I forget what they're called, though. What are you called in 12? Let me look you up. the other ones were very similar to one of the other Final Fantasy XII races. The Garif were similar to the bird people that are up in the floating islands. But what are you guys? You guys are... You're not the Revs, are you? Nope. Nope. I forget what they're called. Sand. The Ogier Yensa Sand Sea is located in the location of Ivalice in Final Fantasy XII. It's a desert to the far west where the sands flow like water. The Urutan Yensa are the only humanoids who live in the Sand Sea, a particular race. Not much is known about them due to the hatred of outsiders. Okay, so they are the Urutan Yensa. That's what they're called. And you can see what they look like. One second. Just for context. Like this. There we go. Just a little bit of extra lore for you. Should be more here. Yeah, I'm a Final Fantasy dork. That's too, though, why I'm started playing 3, because there's so much in this game that it picks from Final Fantasy 3 and Final Fantasy 12. Which is why I want to play those games in between, just to give people context of what the heck I'm talking about. Because if I say, oh, these are the Urutan Yensa, an average person who hasn't played these games are going to be the Udagan Wadawa? Those are definitely words. Sure. The scale of the structure is nothing short of astounding, but that is only to be expected, I suppose, given the size of its occupants. A greater dragon approaches. Does it? Well, first things first. I want to see what this is about. Summoning stone? Wait, it's a chocobo. Why do the holes disappear when I... Why does the draw distance affect the holes? I'm assuming it's like a big ocarina? The stone bears a striking resemblance to a chocobo. Upon closer inspection, the stone appears to be a large horn. Yes, it is an ocarina. Perhaps if you were to blow into one of the holes, it would summon a chocobo, though it may be prudent to leave a rental fee just in case. Leave money for the porters. That's cute. Okay, so it is chocoporters in an area where chocoporters would probably get eaten by the dragons. I take no pleasure in killing the Nath. 'Twas to avoid bloodshed that I agreed to join you on this journey. While it cannot be helped, we may proceed to the courtyard together, but leave the task of hailing its occupants to me. And keep your lance on your back, dragoon. On my word to the Warrior of Light, I shall start no fight, only finish it. Justinian, this is like a car ride with a bunch of children. Like when they do the whole, don't make me turn this car around. Well, he started it. I don't care who started it. I'm finishing it. You truly are beyond salvation. Come then.
Vidofnia!
Tis thee, little one. From above I did mistake thee for a Nath. 'Tis well I chanced to look again, or thou wouldst now be ash.
Didn't we make some dragon glasses so we don't become ash? I was gonna say, can these talk? Apparently they can.
Dear Vidofnia, How I have missed you. Would that I had come sooner, and not out of dire necessity.
Thou art troubled. Speak that I might know thy plight.
Hey there, DJT.
Thou wouldst have father admonish his brood brother.
I would end this war without further bloodshed.
How am I to believe thee, little one, when thine own companion beareth Nidhogg's stolen eye?
So you can sense that, huh?
Have care, dragon, or I shall gouge out one of yours.
Where does he keep it?
You forget yourself, sir. We are here on a mission of peace.
My sire's will forbiddeth me from inviting discord to our home. 'Tis for this reason and no other that thou still drawest breath, knight.
Vidofnir, please. We must be allowed to convey our intentions to Reisfelgar in person, with words of our own choosing. Grant us this favor, and open the way to Som Al.
Thou hast ever been welcome, little one. But I cannot grant thy wish. I am bound to remain here and protect my kin from the Nath's god.
So that's gonna be their primal then? Sounds like something I could potentially deal with.
The Nath have summoned a primal.
What would the Sansi primal be? We've already seen Titan. The Yensa people, too. They didn't really have anything of the sort. Wouldn't be Leviathan, no, because that's the Haggans. Because I'm thinking of the Sand and Sea. They are the Sansi people, even if they're not in the Sand Sea in Final Fantasy XIV. What else was there that was sandy? Or bug-like. There could be the Magus sisters. They're bug-like.
Pray excuse my forwardness, but if we were to eliminate the threat to your territory, would you consent to Lady Izel's request?
Ha! Dost thou imagine thyself equal to the task? To succeed where dragons have failed?
Maybe because we're not dragons, we have a different chance of success?
'Tis beyond thee, mortal. But thou art welcome to try, nonetheless. Only know that idle promises shall avail thee naught.
Well, look at it this way. If I fail, you won't have to deal with me anymore.
It would seem we have no choice but to make good on Alphino's offer. Why must our every bid for peace breed yet more war?
Don't tell me yet. I kind of want to guess it. I want to see if I can guess it. Because they seem more Earth affinity. Anything? Nope. Still behind. Still just money. My equipment is still outpacing what I can get in Heavensward. We built it to last. Once more Primal rears its head, and once more the task of slaying it falls to you. Would that I too possess the Echo? Oh, we can actually talk to dragons here! That's a talkable text! By the Fury, must we now defeat a Primal that we might treat with a worm? I do begin to see how you gained your reputation for surmounting the insurmountable. Gift for the outcasts. So the Nath have summoned their god, and this is the mystery of their newfound belligerence laid to rest. Are you not glad, Lady Iceheart? I thought you would applaud them for summoning a primal to further their own ends. After all, you did. I did not reach out to Saint Shiva to further mine own ends. I desired her strength only to forge anew a peace between man and dragon. What a fool I am to speak of peace to you, a bloodthirsty savage who murders without thought or compunction. Stop fighting. Enough! Enough, I say! The teenager is getting the adults to stop fighting. This is... If the Nath have truly brought forth their deity from the Aether, we must face it together or watch their hopes fall apart. All now rests upon the Primal's defeat. But ere we to think of confronting it, we must first study its origins. What is the nature of this god? What manner of faith sustains its existence? My apologies, you're right. Of course, let us return to Tailfeather and consult with Marstromp. He knows more of the Nath and their culture than most. Yes, they are a somewhat crab-like species. Trying to think, is there anything crab-like? Come on, memory, don't fail me now. A child of man enters Enix Shrine. Interesting. Who are you? I am Senyito. My brothers and sisters are one under Hraesvelgar. We purge this place of all who bear us ill will. We seek quiet and calm. Those who deny us will be met with fangs and claws. I like it here. Heed me, mortal. Should you disturb the peace of our home, we will know. What kind of place is this? Enix Shrine is the work of man in ages past, but man has long forgotten the fruits of his labor. The origins of Enix Shrine are not our concern. These grounds are silent. They suit our needs. Enix Shrine is our home now. Where am I now? I am sort of next to the snowy place. If I pull up the map here, I'm in a place called Dravania. But if I zoom it out a bit... Nope. If I get the buttons right. There we go. Dravania as a whole. And then if we go to the east here... Kurthus is here. So we trekked across this way. This is the snowy area, which is a lot bigger. It's more like this, actually. And then this new area is right next door. You are welcome here for now, but remember, we are always watching. So basically west of Kurthus, which is the snowy place. Which is where all the dragons are apparently coming from. Let's attune this. So we can warp back. Make life a little easier. Without wings, you must take the passage to scale the tower. Above you will find more of my kin. But beware the Cave of Morn. The Cave of Morn? Guess I'll take it by foot then. Since I've yet to be able to fly and I have questions. Nier has a big... Actually, technically it's Drakengard. Drakengard has a big crab deity. You end up eating it. The bridge beyond this chamber leads to Morn. It's a place of silence. Tread softly through its halls. Oh, there's a door here. Behold, we found a god. We eat it and we gain its powers. We have no quarrel with man, but the young ones are still prideful. They look upon man with contempt. In time, they will understand the folly in their judgment. Oh, so maybe it's the younger dragons taking most of the fight. Okay. Big hole? Easy way down? Big hole, easy way down. It looked like I could go further up. A child of man has come to Enix Shrine. Long has it been since your kind walked these lands. If we could only return to those peaceful times. Any more dragons? Yeah, because these ones want peace. And I'm more than happy to agree with them. Oh my gosh, it just keeps getting bigger. The map. The map is huge. Yeah, because Final Fantasy XII summons are different as well. I don't know if they would make an appearance as such. I'm not as familiar with 12 summons. When I went through 12, I went through a really basic playthrough. I didn't get to all the summons. Okay, I'm guessing we can come back up here at a later time. I might work back. Generally thought the whole country is snowy. It would have been cool to see snow everywhere. Oh, it's actually been one big continent the whole time, actually. If I can zoom out again. All the areas we've been to. So this has all just been one country throughout the entire game so far. Lenosha's over here, Thanalan's down here, Gridania, which I was in at the very beginning with the pumpkins, are over here. Mordona's kind of in the middle. Kurthus is to the north, and even further north is Dravania, and we haven't been to these two yet. And then even further, if we do the whole world map, which some stuff is still obscured, there's a whole ass other continent over here. I think this might be a continent. I have the cookbook for this game, so they've pointed a few things out. There's like a tower over here, which kind of thought this was going to be the Crystal Tower. I guess not. But yeah, game very big. We have not seen half of it yet. Yeah, some of it is Africa. Thanalan has a lot of plants from Africa, just straight up. So, obviously it's a fictional world, but if you want to see plants that look like Africa's, then Thanalan is where you go. Whereas up here is a lot more north. A lot of the plants here in Dravania are very similar, like I said, to plants found in southern United States and northern Central America. They're very similar to the swamplands that we have, especially the more ancient looking trees. So up here is somewhat America-ish, albeit Southern America, despite it being in the north. Very interesting continent. Say nothing, partner. Judging by your charming odor, you've already picked the mushrooms we need. Yes, these are the... My God, the scent is even worse up close. Here, I'll put them in a bag before the whole camp retches. Alright, partner, looks like I have the unenviable job of mixing these mushrooms with the Gasol greens. Say, why don't you tell Lupard what a good team we make? What in the seven hells she have you do? Ugh, she's gonna make your scent with that? Oh, can't say anything about how wise that plan is, but it sure is interesting. And I'm sure you've gathered from the tails and ears. Kiyata's Mihote and Hutton's in their blood. Could be this plan might actually work. Anyway, it seems like you two are getting along better than I could have hoped. Keep on with her, and I'll keep asking around for anyone lacking a partner. Natural instinct. Bren, the whole camp's in a hubbub. Seems a lone chocobo has been sighted wandering not too far from the south, waiting for a pair of hunters to come snatch it up. An easy target will make the perfect first hunt for Kenyatta. Now, don't go thinking this bird will just walk right into your traps. Kenyatta's still as green as they come. Go with her and lend a hand before she misses out on her first catch. You heard Lupard. What are you waiting for, partner? That chocobo's not going to catch itself. Ah, wait, before I forget. This is the special mixture I made out of the mushrooms and some Gasol greens. Fragrant, aren't they? The chocobo we're aiming to nab has been sighted to the south, which means plenty of hunters that think they're clever set up traps there. Luckily for us, though, we are one step ahead. You see, since so many hunters have been down south, their scent will be as plain as to the bird as the mushroom is to us. Now, if I were a chocobo, I'd steer well clear of that place. I might even be inclined to take a slightly more dangerous route so as to not run into any hunters. Now, if my instincts were right, that chocobo will go right through the Bandersnatch's territory. That's why we gotta set up our traps to the north. Brilliant idea, ain't it? What's that? Don't tell me you're scared of the big bad Bandersnatches. Just tread lightly and we'll both come back with a new chocobo. Here, let's divide up the greens and get to setting our traps. Once everything's set up, let's meet at the hunter's camp to the north. Good luck, partner! But yeah, these big trees that are like this one here, where it's just this flat thing up top and then these roots that go down like this, they typically go down into the water, but we have these in Southern America and also Northern South America. Sorry, that's a little confusing with the names, but go down to Louisiana for some New Orleans cooking and you'll see these trees. Okay, where am I going? We are going this way. Ah, so the Chocobos made off with the bait without springing the traps. Looks like I've come up empty-handed again. I half expected that would happen. That's why I dug pits near the traps in hopes of catching one off guard. Ah, sorry, I guess I forgot to mention that part. Looks like both you and the Chocobo managed to get past them on your own, though. Truth be told, this isn't the first time I've been outwitted by a Chocobo. I've got more trap design in the works, and I plan to test them out soon. What in the robot bun-buns is that? Stop by again if you feel like joining in. Okay, probably back inside the building. Oh, back already, are we? At the Nath, did you? And what is it you'd like to... Summon a primal, you say? 7 hells. Well, I don't know bugger all about Nath religion, if I'm honest. Beyond their trading habits, and there never seemed much point in asking. But it should be that hard to find out. From time to time, we barter with a small hive to the north and west of here. Outcasts from the main tribe, from what I understand. I reckon they'd be willing to tell you a bit about themselves if you get them the right incentives. That sounds promising. And what exactly would Nath consider to be the right incentives? Oh, nothing your avid hunter couldn't scrounge up in a day or two. Best seeing as you're in a hurry, you might want to divide the chores amongst yourselves. You want a good-sized jar of landtrap nectar, a basket of Kylum tree fruit, and always, a Nath favorite, a generous portion of young Nanka flesh. I shall gather the fruit. Leaping to the lower branches of the forest giants should prove little challenge to me. Then I should collect the nectar, with Master Alphinode's arcane assistance. And that leaves you to bring it home to meat. You'll need to carve it from the smaller Nankas that live in the rivers. 3 big husks should be enough, I reckon. Once you've got everything together, you'll need to set it down at what we call the trading post. Here, I marked the spot on the map for you. You've been most kind, Master Marchamp. Well then, let us attend to our respective tasks and reconvene at the trading post. I need hardly add that the last one there is a rotten Nanka egg. I'm guessing they're fish? I mean, I was still scared of stuff IRL, mostly people. But it's just, I guess I don't have much of a fear reaction to fiction. That's all. Okay, so that's gonna be down there. I attuned to this, right? Make sure I can come back up with these. Yeah, this is the old one. Alright, we're good, we're good, we're good. I didn't want to jump off and be like, no, I can't come back. Speaking of jumping off. Is there not an easy way around this? Or do I have to go all the way around? I probably do. Okay, so we can come out this way. And there's stuff further out as well. Your heart always beats too fast when something scary is happening IRL. Yeah, I usually have breathing exercises for that. Just really slow, deep breaths where you count. I'm gonna lure it over. What is this thing? Is this a fish parasite? I think it's a fish parasite. That's what it looks like to me, anyway. They look like those little parasites that get in fish tongues or in between their gills. Which are very invasive and not supposed to be here, so... I have a fear of the dark. More paranoid reaction to it when you hear something that scares you. I guess I have less of a fear of the dark. Largely in part because I have surprisingly good night vision. I have really crap vision overall, but I can see pretty darn well in the dark. Obviously, if you lock me in a room that, you know, has no light whatsoever, I can't see. But if it's nighttime, I see pretty well. That's why I play things like horror games on occasion. It's like, is this what everybody else sees? For real? As long as there's a little bit of light, like from the moon, I can see. Obviously, you can't put me in a room with 4 walls and no source of light whatsoever. Obviously, I won't see there, but otherwise, night vision, pretty good. When I set out to master the dragon's jump, it was not to strike fear into the hearts of high-hanging fruit. Master Alphino possesses a rare talent for the arcane arts. Should he continue to apply himself for their study, he will become a formidable mage in no time. I was able to gather a goodly amount of nectar from the land traps, though I would not have known how to harvest it without Ysael's help. Do you have the Naga meat? Splendid. I shall put this with the Stinian's fruit and assemble a suitably generous-looking hamper for the Nath. Hopefully they like it. Given the way this game usually goes with confronting primals, they might not care. Yeah, see? They are the, Yensi people. They have the crab faces. Alphino is eager to make contact with the Nath. Well, everything appears to be in order. Assuming no one has any objections to my choice of presentation, I shall place our offerings in the trading post as instructed. Were I of the Nath, I think I would be suitably impressed. But we are not of the Nath. Well, how much long should we wait? Should we have sounded a signal or some such? Calm yourself, Master Alphino. Our offering has not gone unnoticed. Yep, here they come. Do I have a chicken? Not at my residence, but I have other family members with chickens. And I help them occasionally with their farm animals. Long has it been since hunters came to trade, bearing gifts that filled the air with such delightful scents. Land trap nectar. Cullum tree fruit. And nanka flesh. What delectable food you have brought for us. Our meager existence is much enriched by your bounty. Come, hunters, come to our hive if you would wish to trade. Cramped and stifling our homes are, but the rancid incense keeps the dragons at bay. Cramped, stifling, and horribly smelly. I'm guessing it smells like ammonia because of the crab? But better to live in stench than be cracked and crunched by dragon jaws, yes? Come, come, it is not far. We have been thinking quite a bit about getting a coop here, though, too. Just in case. Just in case the world goes sideways. Could always use some chickens. Can those truly be Nath? Were it not for their appearance, I would think them wholly unrelated to the savage creatures that attacked us on the road. Yeah, they're Nath. Those Nath seem harmless enough, almost jovial even. I prefer, however, that we conclude our business with them as soon as possible. I wonder if they have a queen, similar to the ones in 12. Most of them are males, but then they occasionally have, like, a queen. Strangely friendly, are they not? Or mayhap just strange. But yeah, we get eggs and stuff from our family's farm. Oh, change of music. Yeah, it does have the scent things. They live in hollowed out crevices in the earth. There's one up there. There's an aether current up there. How? Is it an aether current? What is that? And how do I... How am I meant to get that? You'd think you'd need to fly in order to get it. Okay. Trying to look at stuff to give hints if they're primal. Oh, it just makes me think bug, and the Magus sisters are the ones that are bugs. Pathfinder. Your presence has been announced to the storyteller. You must speak to your chosen leader in words, for we are Vath. We are the non-mind. The non-mind. The non-mind instead of hive mind. He's empty upstairs. Welcome to our hive, hunters. You have brought delicacies much sought after by your people, and we are much pleased. What would you have in return? Honored Elder, pray allow me to begin by thanking you for welcoming us into your home, and for accepting our humble offerings. My companions and I have come in search of knowledge, specifically knowledge of your people's god. Knowledge alone? What strange hunters you are. But if it is words you desire, then words you shall have. We are the Vath, the non-mind, and to speak is our fate. You will hear the tale of the Nath's god, of the god of the One Mind summoned into our midst. The One Mind. That doesn't give me a lot of clues. The One Mind. These are the Nath who reside in the main colony. Yes, they are one, connected, but let us begin the story at its beginning. Some moons ago, a single dragon flew from the east, bleeding and weak. It fell from the sky and into the hive, where it was swarmed by my brethren, and with spear and spell and musket the dragon was slain. 'Twas likely one that had fled battle with my kinsmen. I should commend you for finishing the job. Would you two quit it? Dragons are fierce and terrible adversaries. The One Mind would always cower when their winged shadows passed over the ground, but no longer had they learned that a battle-weary Divinian was easy prey. Thus did the Overmind decide to heed the words of the black-robed men. The One Mind would call forth our god, and unleash his blades upon the dragons. Okay, maybe the Overmind is the queen. The One Mind are the possessed primals, and then the non-mind, the empty heads, are you. Divinian lands would become Nath lands. Nathlands? Natland? And ever larger would grow our domain. But our god ever hungers. The price he demands in crystals far exceeds the rewards for this war. Okay, so singular he. We of the Vath despise and revile his insatiable existence. Wait, what's this? It's a ring? Disciples of War or Magic. Okay, different ring. Dexterity, strength. I'll do this. Yeah, it's just the term they use to describe the hive mind as a whole. Okay, but they described... The primal could be a he, though. trying to guess what it is.
Though we hear not each other's thoughts, generous hunter, you somehow know that we need help. Our weapon stocks are waning. We need more. We would make a request of you. Please bring us muskets of which to defend ourselves. You can take them from the Nath nearby. 2 would be sufficient.
To be fair, too, my schooling was a little bit different, and they ran us through courses to just... It was basically sensitivity training to make us less skittish.
Feet of clay. Greetings, hunter. Does the hunt go well? There is much delicious meat nearby. There is much delicious fruit nearby. We rarely want for food. What we want is shelter. Building materials are one thing we cannot hunt. We have no materials. We cannot repair our homes. We cannot build new structures. Please fetch us some Dravinian clay. We need Dravinian clay to repair our homes. There is much Dravinian clay at the Nath Hive. Fetch some there. 2 boxes worth will be enough.
So we used to do a lot of like fire drill types of routines. Like they would get a mobile home and they would fill it with smoke and black out all the windows, and we had to crawl through it and get to the other side. We had to climb ropes, like vertical ropes in the gymnasium. All kinds of little things like that. Stuff that I kind of forget until people mention it. It's like, oh yeah, my school was a weird. Even compared to the rest of America. And it's a public school too, so it's just weird stuff.
Fruit. Delicious fruit. The mere thought of it makes our mandibles itch. Do you know the high ground near Mare's Oath? A great tree grows there. Its fruit is delicious. The ripest fruit falls to the ground, ready to be eaten. Please fetch us 3 of these fruits. Why do you love that fruit so much?
What's not to love about it?
Generous hunter, we would like to ask something of you. It is not difficult work. We need Nanka eggs. 5 delicious Nanka eggs. Slay a Ninki Naka, and harvest its delicious eggs for us. We wonder, will you ever tire of Nanka eggs, Circle Roy?
I see, so they just bicker over each other's preferences in food. Even a wounded dragon is a dangerous opponent. These Ant-Men did well to overpower one. The beast tribes have ever summoned the gods out of necessity. That's the Nath should do so out of mere covetousness sets a worrying precedent. What kind of covetousness? Of the dragons? Or like a queen? I call upon the power of a primal for the greater good. Conscious all the while that I do so at the grave cost of the land, I reason that it is a necessary evil, and willingly shoulder the burden of my sin. In suggesting that such crimes can be justified, you may argue that I presume too much, but you must surely see that I am aware of the magnitude of my transgressions. Not so the Nath. They summon their deity for no greater purpose than to expand their domain. To a scion of the 7th Dawn, once sworn to eliminate the primal threat, the distinction you drew seems questionable at best, but the fact remains that my own grandfather risked unleashing the power of the 12 in an attempt to prevent the calamity. Thus, while I may not condone your actions, I at least understand them. Not so the Nath, as you so rightly put. If they truly seek naught but territorial gain, I can only conclude that they are ignorant of the ruinous consequences of their god's insatiable appetite. The longer this primal is suffered to exist, the greater the suffering it will cause. It must be destroyed. Yeah, 'cause it'll drain all the aether out of the land, won't it? How lightly you propose the destruction of this god, Master Alphino, a being of whom we know not. Has it occurred to you that you may be sending the Warrior of Light to their death? It's not my first time, Estinian. No, You have the right of it, Estinian. 'Twould seem it is I who am guilty of presuming too much. Pray forgive me. I do not fear my duty. This has been the conversation this whole stream. I do not fear this. Wait. Ren need not face this foe alone. Like them, I'm blessed with the Echo's protection, and may do battle without fear of the Primal's influence. Let me bear this burden. Wait, are you really immune to it too? Huh, do you truly imagine yourself a second Warrior of Light? Remind me, how many Primals have you faced, my lady? Not that it matters. We know now where this god resides, or how to challenge it, unless you mean to pray until it appears. Estinian, she literally turned into a Primal, zip it. Estinian makes a valid point. Let us speak with the Vath, and learn how to best secure an audience with their deity. In this, at least, I may be of assistance. The young lord certainly appears eager to prove his worth. Yeah, because I didn't do all the summons in 12. I wonder if it's maybe a 12 summon that I'm unfamiliar with. I know there's one. I know there's one in here, because they said its name. Back in A Realm Reborn. Put this idea from your minds, generous hunters. If you meet with our god, then he will have your souls. Surely you're not so generous as that. You wish to meet our god? Offer yourself as a sacrifice, and you will soon be brought before him. We would mourn the loss of such generous hunters, however. We are the Vath. We are the non-mind. We do not hear the one mind's thoughts. We cannot predict their will. Get further this way. You are generous hunters, yes? Many gifts you have brought, but not enough for all Vath to enjoy. Maybe you could bring us just one more? We are very fond of Nanka flesh. Yes, the meat of a young Nanka would make a fine repast. Oh gosh, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Starts with a Z. The Asians keep bringing him up. There must be some way of infiltrating the main colony. The Vath greet mine every question with cryptic utterances. I fear I'm no closer to understanding the tenets of their faith. By the Fury, I would swear these beastmen know less about their god than I do. Well, they are the non-mind. Yeah, Zodiark. There we go. I think that's it. I can think of what he looks like in 12, so I'm guessing he probably is similar hair. And they've said his name already, so it's not a spoiler if they've already revealed it. Obviously, his role would be a spoiler, but if they've said the name, and I recognize the name, there we go. Oh, a whole bunch of stuff down in here. One at a time, though. Okay, you... I have no idea what's up with you. You look like something more from the Dark Realm than our side of things. You look like a dark side monster more than a light side monster. But maybe they're just changing it up for the 14. Don't know. Ah, dang it. Now I'm forced to fight another one. Alright, feed it to the Vath. Which should be off this way. Guessing we're probably gonna have future Beast Tribe quests here too. Actually. Let me... Reputation of Realm Reborn. It hasn't unlocked yet. It's probably a post-game thing. We Vath do enjoy our Nanka flesh. Have you been out hunting yet?
Another gift for the Voth? So unexpected. Yes, you will have more of the words you strange hunters hunger for. Listen now. The senses of the one mind are enmeshed by the overmind. What one sees, all see. What one feels, all feel. Alert a single Nath and the whole hive is alerted. To reach our god undetected is all but impossible.
Okay, so they're like the Pacific Rim kaiju.
Do you have the Nanka eggs? Tasty, juicy Nanka eggs. Ugh.
I don't know if I can make clicking noises. I might just have to, like, tap something.
Yes, thank you for the eggs. The texture is incredible. We could eat 1,000 of them, but 5 will do for now. We cannot understand your liking for Nanka eggs. They are disgusting. You have bad taste. We cannot understand your dislike for Nanka eggs, but this is what it means to be of non-mind. We're allowed to be individuals.
How strange must spoken language seem to those who once shared minds. 'Tis little wonder the Vath are by turns so obscure and transparent in their meaning. Yeah, is there anything that shared a consciousness? I'm trying to... I do not envy the Ant-Men of their bond. Would every man's mind make known to his neighbor, Ishgard would not last a bell. Or maybe you'd get so used to it that it would end your conflict. Who knows? The Vath want to allude to certain concepts without explanation, but I believe I'm beginning to grasp a few of the fundamentals. Well, sometimes when everybody's already used to it, there's less need for explanation. Kind of like the, I always refer to this, but the Aztec main god. They have like a main deity that oversees all the other deities in Aztec lore, and mythology, I should say. And nobody remembers its name, because everybody saw it as the most important god that nobody could ever forget, so why bother writing it down? Ergo, today nobody knows. 1 second. To here. Family's checking in, sorry. From what I understand, the king-like Overmind sits at the center of Nath society. Okay, king-like Overmind. And its presence somehow allows its subjects to communicate without need for word or gesture. These Nath, the ones who inhabit the larger hive, are known as the One Mind, and it was their combined will that the primal was summoned. I don't know, did they turn Yojimbo into a bug? Those who reside in the smaller hive, however, are the Vath, or the non-mind, who, for reasons that yet escape me, seem to have been excluded from the telepathic bond which connects the Nath counterparts. Thus are the Vath ignorant of the One Mind's thoughts and intentions. Kind of reminds me a little bit of 12's deal with the Viera, too. How all the Viera could hear the voice of the forest unless they left the forest and basically A, got shunned by the gods, and B, human society is so noisy that it technically damages their ears to the point that they can no longer hear the voice of the wood. And of the nature of their own god. In summary, we have wasted our time. Not so. Perilous though it may be, the Voth did furnish us with one certain method of approaching the primal, as sacrifices. Should we allow ourselves to be captured in the environs of the colony, the Nath will bring us before their deity to make an offering of our souls. Soul food? Am I to become soul food? That's what I get for fishing crustaceans out of the river, I guess. I'd prefer crustacean river soul food, though. That's not because of the books and writing in Spanish? Huh? I feel like I missed something. Breaking into hives. Breaking and entering. Oh, Snoopy, they made your name bold because they highlighted your name specifically. It's a way to easily see that someone responded to you in chat. Forgive me, but let us be clear about what it is that you propose. You mean to say that you would deliberately provoke the Nath, surrender yourself into what might generously be deemed their custody, and then wait until their god arrives to claim your soul? Does he serve me with butter? That fairly well describes my plan. You will join me in this endeavor, will you not? Judging by the great risks you took to prevent the summoning of Saint Shiva, you're not summoned to err on the side of caution. No. No, I am not. Would that I could fight alongside your side, Warrior of Light, but the power of the dragon is no protection against the primal influence. Forgive me, but I must remain here with Master Alphino. Nope, totally understandable. I don't know how to undo that yet, so you stay here with the Voth and enjoy dinner. Then it's settled. You and I shall challenge the guards at the entrance to the colony. Once the hive is rousted, we shall feign a brief show of resistance and then allow them to take us prisoner. Justinian's words stung me more than I care to admit. 'Twould seem I have begun to take your victories for granted. Do be cautious, friend. I'd be curious to test my lance against the Beast Tribe's god, but I cannot risk falling under its sway. Tell me of the battle upon your return, Warrior of Light. Spanish conquistadors, oh. That strong harm is a frightful panic.
We were attacked by the Nath from the Windmind. We fled in a hurry. We left behind our wain. The wain of goods. We must... I'm getting a phone call. We must recover those goods. The goods are very precious. Very, very precious. But the Nath may still be waiting. Generous hunter, you are strong. Could you recover our goods for us? We were attacked at the riverside, west of Loth. Asked Nath, our wain shall still be there. Please recover our precious goods for us.
And recover thine goods. 1 second. Stuff's going sideways on my end. One moment. What was I doing? Where was I going? We are going out this way. It would be... Okay, probably down here. I'm guessing this is going to be a longer quest too. And I probably don't have that much time left. Since family's telling me they're going to be home a little early, which is understandable, seeing as everybody's sick. Okay, it is down here. It is down here. Then what's this? If the Vath are typically up here, normally they mark that. I wonder if that's... Oh, I bet that's the, Corrupted's territory. Like with the Sylphs. Okay. Can I grab... what is over here? I might stick to side quests for some of this then. Which is still plot. Just because I'm running out of time. Might be able to do more later. We'll see how I feel. The strain that's going around in America right now. Everybody who catches it, I swear, they get like the SpongeBob voice with the
Old lady granny. Sounds like she smoked a pack a day. Chocolate. I've always hated it.
Everybody sounds like that right now because of the strain that's going around in America. And my throat's been hurting a little bit too, so hopefully I don't get encumbered with a voice that's not great for LPs. Not good for my usual voiceovers. Unless we want a headcanon, everybody's got a cold. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. And I could always do shorter streams with something like Honkai or Final Fantasy III. Is there any way up here? I could probably take a branch. But in order to get on a branch, it'd have to be up there. Ah, frustration. Cannot fly. Alright, I'm going back to this crystal. Thou cannot fly. So it all depends. And if people are homesick, I'm not gonna stream or record anything. I'm just gonna let them rest. Because they need their rest. I don't want to be that person. A trap to yawn for. Ah, you've come at the perfect time. I've designed a new trap that's sure to snare even the cleverest of Chocobos, and I need someone to help me with the final step. Do you know the cave south of here? Rare glowing mushrooms called lampshades grow there, and they're essential to my trap. Could you fetch me one while I work on the finishing touches? Okay, and there should be more. Ooh, needs more salt. There's 2. Ah, just the person I was looking for. Slugs have taken to infest in the surrounding woods, and I need your help getting rid of them. Yeah, that was my problem with the garden this year, too. The slugs were horrible. They don't like salt, but you can't put too much salt around your crops because you'll kill them. They dislike used coffee grounds, so if you have coffee grounds from what you've been drinking, you can spatter that in your garden, and the plants love it. They love the nitrates. They don't like beer, so you can put beer in like little yogurt containers and like sort of squish it into the ground, and they'll get into that and drown. And lastly, they don't like eggshells. So if you crunch up some eggshells and sprinkle them like sort of like a little demon repellent circle around your crops, they don't like to cross them because they're sharp and jagged. And they're also good for your plants. They're full of nitrates. So there you go. How to slug without salting your field and ruining your field. I've already got some people on the job, but the slimy buggers multiply faster than I can kill them. At the moment, we're short on hand in the south of the Chocobo Forest. Go there quick as you can, and use this here solution to lure the slugs out. I reckon you know what to do after that. Oh my gosh, man, how many do you have? One of my men was attacked by a chocobo. You might think it was a common story, what with the hunting we do, but I'm told this one was unnaturally big. Of course, in the end, size doesn't matter. We can't be having our quarry stalking us. That's why I'm planning to capture the beast before it harms any more of my men. I already know as reliable handler of the birds, that's why I need your help tracking it down. Think you can lend old Marchamp a hand one more time? If the prospect piques your interest, it'd be best to start off by asking the leaders of my camps what they know of the monster. Come back and share your findings with me when you're done. Big chocobo. Wouldn't happen to be the fat chocobo, would it? Ah! Wait! Oh my gosh, little dude! It's a little dude with zoomies! Oh, I love him. Oh, precious. Some of these don't look too far off. Wonder if they chase like chicken or duck? I don't know. They're kind of big, so I'd assume they'd be tough. Wait, is this up where I can't get it still? Or is this a different one? I might be able to use the rocks. Okay, I can. It's hard to tell with some of these ledges. From the way I heard it, one of the hunters was attacked unprovoked. Got knocked unconscious by a single kick. Ain't never heard of a chocobo doing that. Then you haven't spent a lot of time around chocobos. The horses can get you like that too if you're not careful. Wait, there's something this way. Is that one I couldn't get before? Oh, it's hard telling which one of these I can actually reach. I'll go forward this way just because it gives me a wind thing. I need those to fly. Okay, we can use this to get up here, I think. Maybe? No? Yes? No? Maybe so? Fudge. Nope. Then how the heck am I meant to... Oh. Yeah! See that cage there? Blasted Chocobo pulled the door right off his hinges. Most likely was trying to rescue the bird inside. It's almost like they're smart. I understand you eat them as part of your nomad culture here, but they are smart animals. Much like horses. They're basically a feathered horse. Whereas chickens... Chickens are very head empty. like me as I run right into a tree. Oh wait, this one's up here? Then how can I get it if it's up here? Is there a way down from... No? Because that faces... The black chocobo can't fly automatically, can it? It's not down on the ground, nope. Because that would make a huge difference. I'm not walking for fun, you know. I'm not trying to get cardio in. No, it can't. Darn. How am I meant to get to you? I see you. I see you, but I do not know how to get. And you also have one of the wind crystals, which means there's gotta be a way. Because I literally cannot fly without this. There's gotta be... Oh, it is a long one. Okay. Ugh. You guys need to install some stairs or something. Stairs, ladders. The hunter becomes the quest. That bird ain't scared of us hunters, I can tell you that much. It's rare one of us comes away from an encounter with it unscathed. Had ourselves a bit of an incident the other day. Some fiend came stomping out of the tree line and gobbled up one of the freshly caught birds. Wasn't a damn thing we could do about it. If it was gonna keep to this area, we'll need some extra hands. You tell the chief that. Oh no, we don't have chocobo eaters, do we? Those absolutely gigantic things with the 2 hands? Well, in an area with chocobos, there's a chance. Excuse me? Give me my crystal. Seems that chocobo's been stirring up trouble all around the forest. While you were gathering information, I went and checked the traps that set up around the tail feather. Ain't nothing left of them but scattered straw and broken wood. Can't say we've ever dealt with a problem like this one. Might be that this chocobo has taken some kind of revenge on us hunters, and these acts are a means of provoking us. By all accounts, this chocobo is stronger and more clever than the rest. I expect capturing it wouldn't be a simple feat. Go, got a crystal. So they've all got issues, but none of them thought to ask me for help. Do they think I'll bite off their heads or something? At any rate, I'd best prepare to round up the birds from each camp. Thanks again for your help, friend. Say, since you're already stuck in an acquaintance with the people and all, maybe you'd be willing to hand him a hand. Seems they talk to you of their troubles readily enough. Get another crystal. Chocobo's Last Stand. I'll probably save that one since I'm running out of time. Family said they'd be coming home around 4, and it's 3:57, so I probably need to get back to Kurthus. Alright, so... map. Actually, I could probably go back to the Shroud now. Or wherever. It's easier. I kind of like starting from an easier town. Now that I'm no longer banded from Lenosha, I guess it's not too canon to do it here. Okay. Oh yeah, nah. My PC still grinds, but I've been able to get it to stop grinding by putting a rock on it. And after a while, the fan sorts itself out. Stupid problems require stupid solutions. Because I can't figure out what the issue is. My temps are fine. I'm looking at them right now on the other screen. So who knows? I went to the wrong thing. Nobody saw that. Take me to the drowning wench, please. Go with the drowning wench. I haven't even had any drinks. I go down the wrong elevator. Is it a weight problem? I don't know. It might be. Because my AIO cooler is on the ceiling of the case. So That's where the two AIO fans are as well underneath. You wouldn't think it's air bubbles simply because it's positioned in a way that you really don't get air bubbles. That's usually if you have it vertical or, God forbid, laying on the bottom of your case. Don't do that. But mine is horizontal and on the ceiling of my case. So air bubbles really shouldn't be that much of a thing, especially with the cool temps that I have. So it makes me think one of the fans are probably just ever so slightly off kilter. Which, unfortunately, replacing the fans is about as expensive as replacing the whole damn AIO cooler for the type of fans that these are to keep them spinning in sync, which... do I really want to spend $100 on fans when I have rock? Because if that's the case, the worst thing that'll happen is the fan dies, in which case I just get another fan and I install the fan and whatever. Is the fan too strong for the rate of the rest? I don't know. I mean, it's just sort of bolted onto the top of my case. The AIO cooler is on top and then the fan is underneath the AIO cooler. I've got them tight, but since they are magnetic fans, they might occasionally get slightly demagnetized and off kilter, which is just wear and tear, unfortunately. Either bad production, wear and tear, or we have been getting slightly EMP'd these past couple days with all the solar flares. The northern lights have been crazy. Is it loosening? It doesn't seem to be loosening. All the screws are tight. The fan itself seems like it's sturdy too. It only ever acts up on occasion. Usually when it has to run really, really fast, but then if I stick something heavy on top of it, heavy air quotes, like a bottle of Gatorade, a 20 fluid ounce bottle of Gatorade or a rock, it's like it sort of chills out and like evens back out. It's almost like the fan itself is slightly off kilter when it runs too fast. Normally that means a bearing inside of it is like no longer lubed up. They have a liquid inside. But these are the type of fans you can't easily take apart. Normally you can take air fans apart that aren't magnetized and you would just put a little bit of sewing machine oil in there, spin it around a little, and then seal it back up, and that would stop the grind. But with these types of fans, because they're magnetized, you can't really do that as easily. They spin faster and are more efficient at getting heat out of the case, but the downside is they are, when they go, they go. You can't really maintenance it. When it's done, it's done. So I'm pretty sure it's the fan and not the AIO cooler, but it's so bizarre that I have something sitting on top of the case. The mesh that it's sitting on technically isn't touching the AIO cooler or the fan itself, because of how the screws are bolted in. There's a tiny little, about a couple millimeter gap between the AIO cooler and the actual mesh on top of the case. But yet sitting something on top of that mesh, even though the screws are tight, eventually, doesn't immediately, but eventually causes the grinding, and you can feel the rumbling. You can feel it, and the rumbling to stop. So, it's a bizarre puzzle. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but like I said, stupid problem, stupid solution. Rock. So, like I said, if the fan goes, I'll replace the fan, but ugh, these fans are so expensive. Because if that's the case, I don't need to replace the whole AIO cooler. I don't even have to take it out. You just literally unfasten the one, wires are in the back, reconnect that. I would like something that meshes with my IQ to be able to give me a good read of how fast the fans are spinning, but since they don't make the model that is mine anymore, I'd either have fans that are slightly off kilter from each other, which you're not entirely supposed to do if you have one and then like a different fan, one fan and then a different fan on the same line. I don't want to mess that up. So I might have to replace both fans, but we'll see. We'll see. For now we're doing the budget solution. The live in the boonies solution. Also, the Amazon courier is like late on 2 of my packages right now, and they say they've been delivered, and they absolutely have not, so we have to fight with that too. But for now, this is probably gonna be where I'm gonna call it scuff be damned, and see, I I guess you are no longer a fan of fans. No, I am not. I miss air cooling so much, but I also have a really strong processor that needs the AIO cooler, so... Oh, the issues with future tech, man. Modern tech. It can't be simple and old reliable like they used to. It used to be so easy to maintenance fans, and now it's a headache. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. If it needs replaced, it needs replaced, and we'll do it must. If I need to replace the whole AIO cooler, God, I hope not. Get me some good thermal paste and do what I need to do. But for now, this is where I'm going to call it. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined. Like and subscribe if you want to see more Final Fantasy XIV. And I hope to see you all in future streams. Bye-bye.